My mother bequeathed me 5 properties in Manhattan, but when I decided to tell my husband about it, I accidentally overheard his conversation with my mother-in-law, where they were discussing how to take everything away from me. That's when I came up with a brilliant plan. And before I start, I ask you to like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you, and enjoy listening. The phone vibrated in the pocket of her robe when Kira was drying her hands after washing the dishes. Unknown number. She usually didn't answer calls from unknown numbers, but something made her pick up. Kira Williams. The male voice sounded professional, but not cold. My name is Stanley Morrison. I'm the managing partner of the investment firm Capital Trust. Your mother, Linda Harrison, was our client for many years. Kira froze. Her mother had passed away 3 weeks ago. A heart attack, sudden and merciless. She still couldn't get used to the thought that she would never hear her voice again. I'm very sorry to be calling under such circumstances. Linda was an outstanding person, a most intelligent woman, but I must inform you of something important. Could you come to our office? This concerns your mother's assets. Assets? Kira frowned. What assets? Her mother had worked as an engineer at a research laboratory her whole life. She had a pension and a small apartment in Queens where she lived. Stanley paused. I think it would be better if we met in person. Tomorrow at 11 a.m. Would that work for you? Kira agreed, although inside everything tightened with an incomprehensible anxiety. What assets? Her mother had never mentioned anything like that. They were close, talked about everything. At least Kira thought so. The next morning, she left the house early, telling Owen she would be late at work. Her husband nodded without looking up from his phone. He had barely noticed her lately anyway. 7 years of marriage, and with each year there was more and more coldness between them. But Kira pushed these thoughts away. Now was not the time to think about this. The office of Capital Trust was located in a high-rise building in Midtown Manhattan. Kira went up to the 23rd floor, where she was met by a smiling receptionist who escorted her to a conference room with a panoramic view of the Hudson River. Stanley Morrison turned out to be a man of about 50 with a penetrating gaze and a firm handshake. On the table in front of him lay a thick folder of documents. Kira, before I begin, I want to say, your mother was an incredible woman. We worked together for 22 years, and I admired her intelligence and strategic vision. 22 years. Kira looked at him in confusion. But I never heard about your company. My mother worked at the lab. She worked until 2003. Then she retired and devoted herself entirely to investments. Stanley opened the folder. In 1997, Linda received a large inheritance from a distant relative in Germany, an aunt she hadn't seen since childhood. The amount was substantial for those times, about $60,000. Instead of spending the money, she came to us asking for help to multiply it. Kira listened, feeling reality beginning to come apart at the seams. We invested the funds in commercial real estate when the market was just forming after the dot-com bubble. Your mother was a calculated risk-taker, but a smart investor. She bought small commercial spaces in developing neighborhoods in Manhattan, waited until the area gentrified, and then sold at a profit. By 2005, her portfolio had grown 9-fold. With that money, she began buying residential properties. Properties. Kira felt her breath catch. 5 properties in different parts of Manhattan. Stanley laid documents on the table. A 3-bedroom, pre-war apartment on the Upper East Side, where Linda herself lived in recent years. A 2-bedroom condo in Tribeca, which she rented out. A 4-bedroom townhouse in Greenwich Village, also rented. A 1-bedroom luxury apartment in a new development near Central Park, and a 2-bedroom penthouse in Soho. Kira looked at the addresses and couldn't utter a word. The total value of these assets today is about $18 million. Everything is registered in your name. Linda made a will 8 years ago and regularly updated it. You are the sole heir. The world turned upside down. Kira sat in the chair, not understanding what was happening. Her mother, who wore the same winter coat for 5 years in a row, who refused help, saying she was managing fine, who lived modestly in an old pre-war building and never complained about lack of money. Why didn't she tell me? Kira whispered. Stanley smiled sadly. She said she didn't want money to spoil you. Linda believed that a person should achieve success on their own and receive an inheritance when they're ready. She planned to tell you everything on your 35th birthday. He paused, but she didn't have time. Kira clenched her hands into fists, feeling a lump rise in her throat. Mother, her smart, prudent mother. Why had she been silent for so many years? There's something else. Stanley took a sealed envelope from the folder. She left this for you. Asked me to give it to you when you found out about the inheritance. Kira took the envelope with trembling hands. On it was her mother's handwriting. Kira, my clever girl. She opened the envelope right there in the conference room. Inside was a letter on 2 sheets. My dear daughter, if you're reading this, it means I'm no longer here. Forgive me for not telling you the truth earlier. I wanted you to grow up a normal person, unspoiled by money. You were always so honest, so sincere. I was afraid that wealth would change you. These properties are the result of my work and luck. I want them to give you freedom. The freedom to choose the life you want, not the one you can afford. But be careful, Kira. Money changes people. It shows the true face of those around you. I always worried about your husband. Owen is a weak person. He depends on his mother and lives looking over his shoulder at others' opinions. I hope I'm wrong, but if not, remember, you are strong, you will manage. I love you with all my heart, Mom. Kira folded the letter and put it back in the envelope. Inside, a storm of emotions was churning. Shock, gratitude, the pain of loss and something else. Anxiety. I always worried about your husband. Her mother had seen what Kira refused to notice. Owen really had changed in recent years, became irritable, cold, and his mother Rachel had looked at Kira from the first day of their acquaintance as an unworthy daughter-in-law. A cardiologist without connections, without wealthy parents, without prospects. Rachel didn't hide her contempt. What do I need to do? Asked Kira, coming to her senses. Processing the inheritance will take some time, but I've prepared everything. You'll need to sign documents at the attorney's office. I've already arranged a meeting the day after tomorrow. Stanley handed her a business card. This is our partner attorney, Elena Lawrence. She's aware of the situation and is expecting you. Kira nodded, hiding the card in her purse. Her head was spinning. Thank you. I need time to process everything. Of course. If any questions arise, call any time. He stood up, extending his hand in farewell. And one more thing. Linda asked me to remind you. Trust your instincts. She said, you always feel when something is wrong. Kira left the office in a state of trance. Outside was a bright October day, but she noticed neither the sun nor the passers-by. One thought kept spinning in her head. Her mother had left her $18 million. She was rich. She sat down in a cafe near the office, ordered coffee, and tried to organize her thoughts. 5 properties. Her properties. She could move, open a private practice, travel. No more need to count every dollar. No need to endure the cramped, rented studio in the Bronx. Kira took out her phone and opened the photo gallery. The last joint photo with Owen was taken 6 months ago, at his mother's birthday. They stood next to each other, but there was space between them. Owen was looking away, his face tense, and she was smiling stiffly, as she always smiled in Rachel's presence. When had they become strangers? Kira remembered recent months. Owen increasingly stayed late at work, was irritated by trifles, avoided conversations. His mother called every day, gave advice, criticized, and Kira endured. Endured because she loved him, or thought she loved. But now, sitting in the cafe with a cup of coffee that was getting cold, she suddenly clearly realized she was unhappy. Very unhappy. and she had been for a long time. The phone rang. "Owen, where are you? I came home for lunch, and you're not here." "I said I'd be late. I'm at work." She lied easily, automatically. Again at work. "You're always at work. Mom is right. You don't care about your family." "Owen, I'm a doctor. I have patients." Yeah. Come home by evening. Mom's coming over. Wants to discuss something important." He hung up without waiting for an answer. Kira looked at the phone. Rachel wants to discuss something important. What now? Another lecture about how Kira isn't a good enough wife? Another hint that they should finally buy a bigger place with her help? Kira had always refused loans from her mother-in-law, not wanting to be obligated. But now she had her own money. A lot of money. Should she tell Owen? Her mother warned her in the letter. Owen is a weak person. But he's her husband. They lived together for 7 years. He must. Kira stopped mid-thought. Must what? Love her? He had stopped long ago. Respect her? He listened to his mother more than her. Be honest? She caught herself on the thought. What if her mother was right? What if learning about the inheritance changes Owen? Changes him into someone even worse than he is now? Kira decided she wouldn't tell him. Not yet. First, she would formalize the inheritance, think, understand. Then she'd decide. That evening, Kira came home at 8. Owen and Rachel were sitting in the kitchen, drinking coffee. The atmosphere was tense. Finally, Rachel gave her a look full of reproach. "We've been waiting for you for 2 hours. I warned I'd be late." "Hello, Rachel." Kira went to wash her hands. "Sit down." Owen's voice sounded commanding. "We need to talk." Kira sat at the table, feeling anxiety rising inside. "Owen and I have been thinking," Rachel began. "You've been living in this rented shoebox for 7 years. It's time to buy proper housing. I'm ready to help with the down payment, but you'll need to take out a mortgage. We've discussed this many times. I don't want a mortgage. We'll manage on our own." "Manage?" Rachel laughed. "On your doctor's salary and Owen's? You'll save up for a place until retirement." "Mom's right." Owen joined in. "We need to decide. I'm already 35. I want to live like a human being, not in a box." Kira looked at him. When had he become so alien? "If you want to take a mortgage with your mother, go ahead. But without me." "What?" Owen jumped up. "Are you out of your mind? We're a family. A family where I have no voice, where all decisions are made by your mother." "Don't you dare talk about my mother that way." "Calm down, Owen." Rachel patted her son on the shoulder. "Kira is just tired. She'll think and understand we're right." "I've already thought. My answer is no." Kira stood up. "If you'll excuse me, I'm going to rest." She left the kitchen, hearing Rachel's hissing whisper behind her. "I told you, your wife is uncontrollable. Doesn't listen to reason." That night, Kira couldn't sleep. She lay in bed, and Owen demonstratively turned his back to her. Her mother's words echoed in her head. "Money shows the true face of those around you." What if she told Owen about the inheritance? What would he do? Would he be happy for her? Or... Kira remembered the greedy gleam in Rachel's eyes when she talked about buying property. Remembered how Owen always took his mother's side. And she understood. She couldn't tell them. Not now. Maybe not ever. In the morning, Owen left for work without saying goodbye. Kira called her hospital, said she was taking a few days off, and went to the attorney. Elena Lawrence turned out to be an elegant woman of about 60, with a sharp mind and attentive gaze. "Kira, Stanley told me about your mother. Please accept my condolences. Linda was an outstanding woman." "Thank you. I've prepared all the documents. The inheritance includes 5 properties, bank accounts with a total balance of about $1.2 million, and securities worth another $800,000. The total amount is approximately $20 million. Kira mechanically signed where indicated. The figures seemed unreal. $20 million. She was a multimillionaire. There's one more thing. Elena pulled out another folder. Your mother left instructions. She asked that if you decide to sell any of the properties, we should help you do it confidentially without your husband's knowledge. Without my husband's knowledge? Yes. Linda was very insistent on this point. She said you might need protection. Protection from her own husband. Her mother knew, saw, warned. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind. Kira left the attorney's office with documents that made her a wealthy woman. But instead of joy, she felt heaviness. Her life was divided into before and after, and she didn't know which was better. A week passed. Kira lived in two realities. During the day, she worked at the hospital, trying not to think about the inheritance. In the evening, she came home to the cold apartment where Owen barely spoke to her, and Rachel called every day demanding a decision about the mortgage. On Friday evening, Kira stayed late at the hospital. She was writing a patient report when her colleague Jennifer came in. Going home. Soon. Kira, what's wrong with you? You've been walking around like a ghost for a week. Kira looked at her. Jennifer was her only friend, the only person she could trust. Something happened. You could say that. And Kira told her everything about the inheritance, about her mother's letter, about her fears. Jennifer listened without interrupting, then whistled. 20 million? Kira, you're loaded. Shh, not so loud. Sorry. Jennifer sat down across from her. And you didn't tell Owen? No. Right decision. You think so. I know so. Kira, I've watched your marriage for 7 years. He's not a bad person, but he's weak. And his mother is a nightmare. If they find out about the money, they'll tear you apart. They're my family. Family. Jennifer laughed bitterly. When was the last time Owen said he loved you? When did he support you? Family is not just a marriage certificate. Kira was silent because Jennifer was right. What are you going to do? I don't know. I'm afraid to tell him, but I can't hide forever. You can. Listen, you have money now. You can hire a good lawyer, file for divorce, divide the property. You'll get out of this marriage with your money intact. Divorce. The word sounded alien. I can't. Why not? Because you love him? Or because you're afraid of being alone? Kira didn't answer because she didn't know. That evening, coming home, Kira heard voices in the kitchen. Owen and Rachel. Again. She wanted to pass by, but caught a phrase that made her freeze. When her mother's apartment is sold, we'll have enough for a down payment. Kira carefully approached the door. Mom, I'm not sure Kira will agree. She'll agree. Or rather, she won't even know. Rachel's voice sounded confident. What do you mean? Owen, I've been thinking for a long time. Your wife isn't managing money well. She's emotional, impulsive. What if we registered the apartment in your name? For safety. But it's her inheritance. So what? You're a family. Everything should be shared. And Kira will understand. Or not understand, it doesn't matter. The main thing is you'll have a place. I don't know, Mom. This somehow. Owen, don't be naive. Your wife has been going somewhere for a week. Being secretive, probably hiding something. What if she's having an affair? Then you'll be left with nothing. And if the apartment is registered to you, you'll at least have assets. You think Kira is cheating on me? I don't think, I'm sure. A woman doesn't take time off work for a week, just like that. She's probably seeing someone. And you, fool, will wait until she throws you out. Kira felt nausea rising. She stood on the other side of the door and listened to how her husband and mother-in-law were planning to steal her inheritance, not knowing that the inheritance was much larger than they thought. How do we do this? Owen finally asked. Simple. Kira is an emotional person, right? When the apartment is transferred to her, you'll say your mother is seriously ill, needs expensive treatment. Kira will feel guilty, agree to help, and then you'll just ask her to sign a few documents. She trusts you, won't read them carefully. These will be documents for transferring ownership. Exactly. But that's illegal. Owen, this is a family matter. Nobody will go to court. And if Kira starts protesting, we'll say she agreed voluntarily. Who'll believe her? Kira quietly backed away from the door, went into the bedroom and closed the door. Her hands were shaking. Her mother was right. Her husband, the man she lived with for 7 years, was planning to rob her. With his mother's help. Kira sat on the bed and tried to calm her breathing. Think. She needs to think. They don't know about the 5 properties. They think there's only her mother's one apartment on the Upper East Side. What if she gave them this apartment? Let them think they've won? But then they'll just continue. Will demand more. No. She needs another plan. Kira took out her phone and called Jennifer. I need your help. The next morning Kira woke up early. Owen was still sleeping. She got dressed, left a note that she had gone to the hospital and left. Instead of work, she went to a lawyer. Michael Brennan was recommended by Jennifer as the best divorce attorney in New York. His office was located in Lower Manhattan, in a modern building near Wall Street. Kira Williams. Michael turned out to be a man of about 45, with intelligent eyes and a calm voice. Jennifer told me about your situation. I'm listening. Kira told him everything. About the inheritance, about the conversations she overheard, about her fears. Michael listened carefully, occasionally jotting something down. Interesting case, he finally said. Let's start with the fact that all 5 properties were registered to you before marriage, right? No, after. Mom died 3 weeks ago. That complicates things. Property acquired during marriage in New York is equitable distribution, meaning your husband could have the right to some of it. What? Don't worry, there are nuances. Inheritance and gifts are not subject to division under New York law. All 5 properties are your sole property. Owen has no right to them. Kira breathed a sigh of relief. But there's one problem, the lawyer continued. If your husband finds out about the properties and demands division, he can claim that you acquired them during marriage jointly. He'll need to prove it, of course, but the litigation can drag on for years. What should I do? Option 1. Don't tell him anything. Quietly file for divorce. Formalize everything quickly. He'll find out about the properties during asset disclosure. Not necessarily. If we act correctly, I'll file for divorce based on irreconcilable differences, minimal mention of assets. After the divorce, the properties remain yours. But he'll still find out. Perhaps. But after the divorce, he'll have no claims. New York law is on the side of heirs. What's option 2? Michael smiled. Option 2 is more interesting. We make them think they've won. What do you mean? You overheard they want to take your mother's apartment, right? Let them think that's the only property. You agree to register it in your husband's name, but actually sign documents that make the transaction voidable. Then, when they try to sell the apartment, it turns out the deal is invalid. Is that legal? Absolutely. If you are forced to sign under duress or fraud, the transaction can be challenged. We'll need witnesses, evidence. Think you can organize that? Kira thought, yes, I can. Excellent. Then here's what we'll do. For the next 2 weeks, Kira played her role. She continued to live with Owen, pretended nothing had happened, and waited. Rachel called every day, persistently asking about the mortgage. Owen was cold and distant, and then, exactly as the lawyer predicted, Owen came home one evening with a devastated face. Kira, we need to talk. What happened? Mom is sick. The doctors found a tumor. They need to operate urgently, but it's expensive. Very expensive. Kira knew it was a lie, but she played along. Oh my God, how serious is it? The operation costs $200,000. We don't have that kind of money. Owen lowered his eyes. But you're about to get Mom's apartment. We could. Sell the apartment? No. Just maybe put it in my name temporarily. Take a home equity loan against it. After the operation, we'll pay back the loan, and the apartment will remain ours. Kira pretended to think. I don't know, Owen. It's my mother's apartment. I understand, but this is my mother's life. Please, Kira, I'm begging you. He really looked desperate. Almost an Oscar-worthy performance. All right, Kira finally said. If it will help your mother, I agree. Owen hugged her, but Kira felt only disgust. Thank you. You're the best. When do we need to sign the documents? Tomorrow. I've already talked to a realtor. He's prepared everything. Of course you have, thought Kira. Everything's ready. A week later, Kira signed the documents that Owen brought. The realtor, a slick guy with shifty eyes, quickly explained everything needed to be signed. Kira read each document carefully, but didn't let on that she understood. These weren't loan documents. These were documents for full transfer of ownership of the apartment. Here, and here, the realtor pointed. You understand what you're signing. Michael asked when Kira showed him copies of the documents. These scoundrels really decided to steal the apartment. Yes. What now? Now we wait. When they try to sell the apartment, we'll challenge the deal. You signed under psychological pressure and fraud, without understanding the consequences. I've already prepared witnesses. Your friend Jennifer and 2 colleagues will testify that Owen and his mother were pressuring you. What if they don't sell? They will. People like them always get greedy. Michael was right. 2 weeks later, Kira accidentally saw a real estate listing online. 3-bedroom pre-war apartment on Upper East Side was for sale. Her mother's apartment. The price was $3.2 million. Kira felt her blood boil. They weren't even hiding. Sold her mother's apartment. The apartment where she grew up, where her mother lived. It's time, said Michael when Kira called him. File a lawsuit. Challenge the deal. And he paused. Think about what you're going to do next. After this, there's no going back. Kira knew he was right. After the lawsuit, her marriage would be over. But was there anything to save? The trial began in November. Kira filed a lawsuit to void the transaction and for divorce. Owen was shocked. What are you doing? He shouted during the first court hearing. I helped my mother. You stole my apartment, Kira replied calmly. You and your mother deceived me. We didn't deceive anyone. You signed voluntarily. Under fraud and duress. You lied that your mother was dying. And she, Kira pointed at Rachel, planned this from the start. Lies. Rachel jumped up. Your Honor, this woman is slandering us. We just wanted to help. Sit down, the judge said sternly. I will determine who is lying. The trial dragged on for 3 months. Jennifer and 2 colleagues testified that Owen and Rachel had long pressured Kira. Michael presented documents proving that Rachel was not ill at the time of signing. Medical records showed she was in perfect health. The realtor who organized the deal testified that Owen himself had approached him, asked to quickly sell the apartment without involving Kira. He said his wife didn't want to sell, but he had the right because the ownership was transferred to him. The realtor testified. I was uncomfortable, but he insisted. In the end, the court ruled in Kira's favor. The deal was voided. The apartment was returned to her. Owen was ordered to pay court costs and legal fees. This isn't over, shouted Rachel after the verdict was announced. We'll appeal. Appeal all you want, Michael calmly replied. The verdict will remain the same. Kira left the courthouse feeling strange emptiness. She won, but she felt no joy, just fatigue. What now? Asked Jennifer, who had come to support her. Now I start living. 2 weeks later, the divorce was finalized. Kira moved into the apartment in Tribeca, one of those inherited from her mother. It was a beautiful two-bedroom loft with high ceilings and a view of the city. She sold 2 other properties, the one near Central Park and the penthouse in Soho. She invested the money in opening her own private practice. The practice opened in March. Small, only 5 treatment rooms, but her own. Kira hired 2 colleagues from the public hospital, bought modern equipment. Patients began to appear gradually but steadily. Life was getting better, but loneliness oppressed her. She came home to an empty apartment, ate alone, slept alone. Sometimes Jennifer visited, but that was rare. "You need to start dating," Jennifer said one evening when they were sitting in the kitchen, drinking wine. "I'm not ready yet. It's been 6 months since the divorce. How long are you going to hide?" "I'm not hiding. I'm just afraid." "Of what?" "That everything will repeat itself. That I'll trust again and again be betrayed." Jennifer sighed. "Kira, not all men are like Owen. There are normal people in the world." "I know, but I can't. Every time I try to imagine someone next to me, I remember how Owen and his mother plotted to rob me, and I can't." "Then work with a therapist. You can't live in fear all your life." Kira knew Jennifer was right, but fear sat too deep. It paralyzed. In the summer, Kira met Marcus. Not her lawyer, a different Marcus, a surgeon from another hospital. They met at a medical conference. He was smart, interesting, attentive, invited her to coffee. Kira refused at first, but he was persistent. "Just coffee. No obligations," he smiled. They drank coffee, then had dinner, then went to a movie. Marcus was different from Owen. He was self-sufficient, confident, with a sense of humor. He had a 7-year-old daughter from his first marriage. "My ex-wife and I divorced 3 years ago," he told Kira on their 3rd date. "She left me for another man. It hurt, but I survived. Now we maintain a civil relationship, for Maya's sake." "You have a daughter?" "Yes. She's my life. Want to meet her?" Kira hesitated. Meeting the child was a serious step. "I don't know. I understand you're afraid. But Maya is an amazing girl. You'll like her." They met a week later. Maya turned out to be a lively girl with braids and curious eyes. "Dad says you're a doctor," she chirped. "Can you tell me what vitamins are?" Kira smiled. For the first time in many months, she smiled sincerely. "Vitamins are like little helpers that live in food and help us stay healthy." "Like fairies?" "Exactly like fairies." Maya chatted all evening, told stories about school, showed drawings. Marcus looked at his daughter with tenderness and at Kira with hope. "I like her," Maya declared when Kira was leaving. "Will you come again?" "If your dad invites me." "I invite," Marcus said seriously. "And not just to visit. Kira, I really like you. I want us to be together." Kira felt panic rising. Together. Again trust. Again open her heart. Again risk being hurt. I need time. I'll wait." And he waited. Marcus didn't pressure, didn't demand, just was there. Called every day, invited to walk, sent funny messages. Gradually, Kira began to relax. Maybe Jennifer was right. Not all men are like Owen. In the fall, Marcus proposed. "Let's live together. You, me, and Maya. We'll be a family." Kira froze. "I'm afraid." "I know, but I'm not Owen. I won't betray you, won't lie, won't try to steal anything from you. I love you for who you are. How can I trust that?" "You can't. You can only risk it. Try, and see if I'm lying." Kira looked at him. Marcus was sincere, she felt it, but fear was stronger. "I can't. Forgive me." She left, feeling her heart break. She ran away from the chance at happiness because she was afraid. But fear was stronger than desire. At home, Kira sat at the window and cried. She won the trial, kept the money, but lost the ability to trust. Owen and Rachel took not her apartments. They took her faith in people. and that was more terrible than any financial losses. Days passed. Kira tried not to think about Marcus, but constantly caught herself remembering his smile, his voice, the way he looked at his daughter. She missed him. "Are you crazy?" Jennifer said when Kira told her about the proposal. "A good man invites you to live together and you refuse." "I'm afraid." "Of what? That he'll turn out to be like Owen?" "Kira, Marcus is completely different. He has his own apartment, his own income. He's successful. What does he need your money for?" "I don't know. But what if?" "There are no what ifs. There's your fear that's destroying your life. You're letting Owen and his mother win. They wanted to hurt you, and they hurt you, not by stealing money, but by stealing your trust." Kira was silent because Jennifer was right. 2 weeks later, Kira called Marcus. "I want to talk." "I'm listening." I thought about your proposal, and I'm still afraid, but maybe I can try." Marcus was silent for a long time. "Kira, I waited, but I can't wait indefinitely. I need certainty. You either trust me or you don't. There's no middle ground. But I'm trying." "I know, and I appreciate it. But I'll try isn't enough. I need a woman who's ready to be with me, not one who tries." "I understand." Kira felt tears welling up. "Then goodbye." "Goodbye, Kira. Take care of yourself." He hung up. Kira sat with the phone in her hands and understood. She lost him. Lost because she couldn't overcome fear. That evening Kira got drunk. She drank wine alone in her empty apartment and cried. Cried over her mother, who died. Over Owen, who betrayed her. Over Marcus, who gave her a chance, but she couldn't take it. Over herself, weak, broken, unable to trust. "Why, Mom?" she said aloud to the photograph on the table. "Why did you leave me all this money if I can't be happy anyway? What's the point of properties if I'm alone? What's the point of freedom if I'm afraid to live?" The photograph was silent. Of course it was silent. Her mother was gone, and Kira was alone with her fears and $20 million that didn't bring happiness. The next morning, Kira woke up with a headache and a decision. She needed help. She couldn't cope on her own. She found a therapist and made an appointment. Therapy was difficult. The therapist, a woman of about 50 named Dr. Anna Rogers, dug deep, asked uncomfortable questions, forced her to look at what Kira tried to hide. "You have attachment and trust issues," she said after the third session. "Does it come from childhood?" "My father left when I was 5. Never saw him again. That's where it stems from. Then Owen reinforced this trauma. You now think that all people will betray you. Won't they?" "No. Most people are decent, but you don't see them because you're focused on danger. This is a protective mechanism, but it's destroying your life." "How do I get rid of it?" "Work. On yourself. For a long time, and it will be difficult, but it's possible." Kira worked. Went to therapy twice a week. Read books. Kept a journal. Gradually, the fog in her head began to clear. She began to understand not all people are like Owen. Not all relationships end in betrayal. Fear was a consequence of trauma, not reality. But understanding and feeling are different things. Kira understood, but still couldn't trust. In December, she accidentally met Marcus. He was in a shopping mall with Maya, buying gifts for Christmas. "Kira." Maya ran to her. "I missed you." "I missed you too." Kira hugged the girl. Marcus approached. "Hello." "Hello." They looked at each other. Kira saw sadness in his eyes. "How are you?" "Okay. Working. You?" "The same." Silence. Maya looked from her father to Kira. "Dad, why aren't you hugging? You said you loved Kira." "Maya," Marcus started. "It's okay," Kira interrupted. "Your dad was right. I couldn't be with him." "Why? You're so nice." Sometimes nice isn't enough, sweetie. That's silly, Maya said firmly. Dad loves you. You love Dad. Why aren't you together? Because I'm afraid. Of what? That your dad will stop loving me. Maya thought, but that's also silly. If Dad loves, he won't stop. He promised Mom he'd always be my dad, even though they're not together. And he keeps his promise. Kira looked at Marcus. She's right, he said quietly. I keep my promises, but I can't force you to believe that. I know. I'm sorry. Don't apologize. Just take care. He took his daughter by the hand and they left. Kira stood in the middle of the shopping mall and felt tears running down her face. She let happiness slip away again and could do nothing about it. On Christmas Eve, Kira was at Jennifer's. They drank champagne and pretended to be cheerful. You can still call him, Jennifer said when midnight struck. What for? He'll refuse. I've already rejected him twice. Maybe not. Try. Kira looked at her phone. Call Marcus? Say what? That she's still afraid? That she can't trust? That she's broken? No, she said finally. I can't offer him a relationship where I'm constantly in fear. That's not fair to him. And being alone, is that fair to yourself? Kira didn't answer. She didn't know. Time passed. Kira lived, worked, went to therapy. The practice was doing well. She even had to hire 2 more doctors. Money stopped being a problem. She had more than enough. But happiness remained elusive. In March, Dr. Rogers said, Kira, we've been working for 6 months. You've made tremendous progress. But there's one problem. What? You understand everything intellectually, but don't feel it emotionally. You know that not everyone will betray you, but you still don't trust. How do I learn to trust? Risk it. Open up. Let someone in. Yes, it's scary. Yes, you might get hurt. But without risk, there's no intimacy. What if I can't? Then you'll remain alone. Is that what you want? Kira thought. Did she want to remain alone? Live in a beautiful apartment, run a successful practice, but come home to emptiness every evening? No. Then you know what to do. That evening, Kira called Marcus. He answered on the 5th ring. Yes. It's me, Kira. Silence. I know. Can we meet? Why? I want to talk. We've already talked, Kira. Several times. I don't want to hear again about how you're afraid, how you can't trust me. I don't want to talk about that. I want to try. Really try, not just say it. Marcus was silent. When? Tomorrow. All right. Coffee shop at noon where we first met. The next day, Kira arrived at the coffee shop early. She was nervous. Her hands were shaking. What if he refuses? What if? Marcus appeared exactly on time. He looked tired. There were dark circles under his eyes. Hello. Hello. They sat down at the table. Awkward silence. I'm listening, Marcus finally said. Marcus, I don't know how to say this correctly. I've been going to therapy for 6 months, working on myself, on my fears. I still haven't overcome everything, still sometimes panic, but I want to try. With you, if you still want. Marcus looked at her intently. What's changed? I've changed. Or rather, I'm trying to change. I understand now that my fear is a consequence of trauma, not reality. That not all people are like my ex-husband. That I might not betray you. Yes, might. But no guarantees, Kira. I'm just a person. I can make mistakes, hurt you unintentionally. I'm not perfect. I know, and I'm not perfect either. But maybe we can try together. Marcus was silent, then sighed. Kira, I've been waiting for this. For a long time. But now, I'm not sure I can risk it again. What? You rejected me twice. Both times I opened up to you, offer my heart, and you pushed away. I can't do this a 3rd time. I have a daughter. I can't bring a woman into our lives who might leave again. I won't leave. How do I know? How can I trust that you won't run away again when fear returns? Kira felt tears coming. He was right. Absolutely right. You can't know. Just like I can't know if you'll betray me. It's a risk for both of us. But my risk is greater. I have Maya. She's already attached to you. If you leave, you'll break not only my heart, but hers too. I won't leave. I promise. Kira, you're a good person. But I can't risk my daughter's heart for your promises. He stood up. I'm sorry. He left. Kira sat at the table and cried. She lost him, finally and irrevocably, because of her fear, her inability to trust. Owen and Rachel won. They didn't take her money, but they took something more important, her ability to be happy. The following months were terrible. Kira plunged into work, trying not to think about Marcus. But everywhere she saw reminders, a father with a daughter in the park, a wedding at City Hall, a couple holding hands. And each time, she felt pain. You're punishing yourself, said Dr. Rogers. For what? For not being perfect, for being afraid. But fear is a normal reaction to trauma. You don't have to beat yourself up for it. But because of this fear, I lost Marcus. Maybe, or maybe it's not your story. Maybe you need something else. What? Time, healing, and then someone who will accept you as you are, with all your fears. But I want Marcus. I know, but you can't force him to risk. He has his reasons, his right to protect himself and his daughter. Kira understood this intellectually, but her heart ached. She lost her chance at happiness, and it was only her own fault. Summer came. The practice celebrated its 1-year anniversary. Kira threw a party for employees and patients. There were a lot of people, noise, laughter. She smiled, accepted congratulations, but inside felt emptiness. Beautiful practice. A woman's voice sounded behind her. Kira turned around. Before her stood an elegant woman of about 40. Thank you. I'm Ashley, Marcus's ex-wife. Kira felt her heart skip a beat. Nice to meet you. I know who you are. Marcus told me about you. He did? Yes. He said you were a special woman, but you were afraid. He's right. Ashley looked at her. Do you love him? Yes. Then why did you leave him? Kira thought. Why? Because I was afraid to trust. My ex-husband and his mother tried to rob me. They betrayed me, and I couldn't go through that again. I understand. Marcus was also afraid when we divorced. I betrayed him, left him for another man. It was terrible. He was closed off for 2 years, didn't let anyone in. How did he overcome it? Therapy, time, and the realization that not all women are like me. He took a risk, opened up to you. And I rejected him. Yes, and that was your right. But now he's suffering. Maya is suffering. They both miss you. He said he can't risk it. Because he's afraid. Just like you. You're both afraid. And because of that, you're both suffering. Kira felt tears coming. What should I do? Fight. If you love him, fight for him. Show him you've changed, you're ready. Don't give up. But what if he still refuses? Then at least you'll know you tried everything, and won't reproach yourself. Ashley left. Kira stood in the middle of her practice and thought. Fight. For Marcus. For happiness. For the chance to live, not survive. That evening, Kira made a plan. She couldn't just come and say, "Take me back." She had to show that she changed. Not with words, but with actions. The next day, she went to Marcus's hospital, left him a letter at the reception. Marcus, I know I hurt you. I'm not asking you to forgive me right away. I just ask you to give me a chance to prove that I've changed, that I'm ready to fight for us. If you agree, meet me on Saturday in Central Park where we walked with Maya. If you don't come, I'll understand. Kira. Saturday came. Kira came to the park early. She sat on a bench and waited. An hour passed. 2. Marcus didn't come. Kira felt her heart sinking. He refused. Didn't want to see her. She stood up to leave and then heard, "Sorry, I'm late." Marcus stood before her. He looked tired but hopeful. "You came." "I almost didn't read your letter and decided it was a bad idea. But then Maya said, 'Dad, if you love her, go.'" "Smart girl." "Yes." They sat down on the bench. Awkward silence. "Kira, I don't know if I can trust you again." "I understand. But I want to try. Ashley came to me, said you were at the practice, that you asked what to do." "She's an amazing woman." "Yes. She said I should give you a chance. That people change if they want to." "I want to. Very much." Marcus looked at her. "Then let's try. But slowly. No moving in together, no promises. Just let's date, see how it goes." "Agreed." "And if fear returns, you promise to tell me? Not run away, but talk." "I promise." Marcus took her hand. "Then let's start again. Hello, I'm Marcus. And you?" "Kira. Nice to meet you." They smiled. For the first time in many months, Kira felt warmth in her chest. Maybe she had a chance. Maybe not everything was lost. They started dating. Slowly, carefully. Marcus invited her to dinners, movies, walks. Kira came, tried to relax, trust. It was difficult. Sometimes fear returned, squeezed her throat, whispered that he would betray her. But Kira didn't run. She called Dr. Rogers, talked, worked through the panic attacks, and then called Marcus, honestly told what she felt. "I'm afraid you'll get tired of me, that you'll see I'm broken and leave," she said once. "Kira, we're all broken. I was betrayed too, remember? But that doesn't mean we don't deserve happiness. And if I can't fully trust, then we'll work on it together. I don't expect you to change overnight. I just want you to try." And she tried to open up, to let Marcus in. It was scary, but he was patient. Didn't pressure, didn't demand. Just was there. In August, they went on vacation together, Marcus, Kira, and Maya, to the beach. It was the first time in many years Kira felt happy. They swam, walked along the shore, built sandcastles. Maya laughed, ran, demanded to be thrown into the waves. Marcus held Kira's hand and looked at her with such tenderness that her heart melted. One evening, when Maya fell asleep, they sat on the beach, looking at the stars. "Kira, I love you," Marcus said suddenly. "I know I said we're moving slowly, but I can't hold it in anymore. I love you, and I want you to know that." Kira felt tears coming. "I love you too. Really, really. I'm still afraid sometimes, but you're worth the risk." Marcus kissed her, and Kira felt the ice around her heart finally beginning to melt. They returned to New York in September. Marcus offered to move in together. "Not immediately," he said, "but maybe in a few months, when you're ready." Kira thought, was she ready? "I don't know. I'm still scared." "I know, but fear isn't a reason to refuse happiness." Kira looked at him. Her mom left her money not just to have freedom. She left it so Kira could choose. Live in fear or risk being happy. "Let's try," she finally said, "but gradually. Maybe I'll stay over on weekends first." "Deal." They moved slowly. Kira stayed over on weekends, then on weeknights. Gradually, her things appeared in Marcus's apartment: toothbrush, clothes, books. Maya was happy, ran around shouting, "Kira is staying with us!" And Kira felt it was right. For the first time in many years, she felt she was where she should be. But fear didn't go away completely. Sometimes, in the middle of the night, she woke up in a cold sweat, imagining that Marcus would betray her, leave her, take everything. She got up, went to the kitchen, sat alone in the dark. What's wrong? Marcus would find her. "I'm afraid." "Of what?" "That you'll leave. That it will all end." "Kira, I'm not going anywhere. I promise." "How can I believe that?" You can't. You can only trust. And Kira tried to trust, little by little, cautiously. In December, Marcus proposed. Kira, I know you're afraid. I know it's difficult for you, but I want to spend my life with you. Will you marry me? Kira looked at the ring in his hands and felt panic. Marriage. Again. What if it all repeats? I need time. How much? I don't know. Marcus sighed. Kira, I love you, but I can't wait forever. I need to know if you see a future with us or not. I see it, but you're still afraid. Yes. Then when will you stop being afraid? In a year? 2? 10? I don't know. Marcus closed the box with the ring. Then I'll wait, but not forever. Think about it. Kira thought. For several days. She loved Marcus, loved Maya, wanted to be with them, but fear held her at a distance. This is a moment of choice, said Dr. Rogers. You can stay in your safe tower of fear and loneliness, or risk, open up, try again. What if I get hurt again? Then you'll hurt, but at least you'll live, not survive. Your mom left you not just money. She left you the freedom to choose, live in fear or risk being happy. Kira thought about her mom, about her words, don't be afraid, daughter, live. And she made her decision. That evening she came to Marcus. I thought about it. And, yes, I'll marry you. Marcus looked at her surprised. Really? Really? I'm still afraid. Probably will always be a little afraid. But you're worth the risk. He hugged her. We'll figure it out together. I promise. They got married in the spring. A small wedding, only close ones. Jennifer was the maid of honor. Maya scattered flower petals. Kira stood at the altar and felt this was right. She took a risk, opened up, and maybe, just maybe, she would be happy. But doubt still lived inside. A cold little voice that whispered, what if he betrays? What if it repeats? Kira learned to ignore this voice. But sometimes at night, when Marcus slept next to her, she woke up and checked his phone, looked at messages, calls, searched for signs of betrayal. What are you doing? Marcus woke up once. Sorry. You're checking my phone. Don't trust me. Kira was silent because it was true. Kira, we're married. If you can't trust me, what are we doing? I'm trying. Try harder, because I can't live like this, under constant suspicion. He turned away, and Kira lay in the dark, feeling everything collapsing. She was destroying their marriage with her own hands. The next day, she called Dr. Rogers. I can't. I try but can't trust. Kira, trust is not built in a day. It's a process. But Marcus is tired. He can't live like this. Then you need to decide, either continue working on yourself or lose him. Kira continued therapy, but fear remained. She checked phone, email, asked where he was going, with whom he was meeting. Marcus endured, but Kira saw he was getting tired. In the summer, they had their first big fight. Kira, I can't anymore, Marcus shouted. You're like a robot. You're here, but you're not. You don't love me. You're just afraid to be alone. That's not true. It is true. You're using me as a shield from loneliness, but not giving anything in return. Kira was silent because he was right. I can't do this anymore, Marcus said wearily. I love you, but can't live with a ghost. Either you open up or we break up. Kira left that night, returned to her apartment in Tribeca, sat by the window and cried. She was destroying their relationship with her own hands, pushing away the person who loved her, because of the fear that Owen and Rachel planted in her. They won. Even having lost the trial, even having been punished, they won because they took away her ability to love. In the morning, Kira made a decision. She couldn't live like this anymore. She had to either let go of the past or accept loneliness. She called her therapist, made an appointment, started working on herself even harder. breaking down traumas, learning to trust. The process was long and painful, but gradually the walls began to crumble. After 3 months of intensive therapy, Kira returned to Marcus. I'm working on myself, going to therapy 3 times a week, learning to let go of the past. It's hard, but I'm trying. Can we try again? Marcus looked at her for a long time. Do you really want to be with me? Not out of fear of loneliness, but because you love me. Kira thought, did she love him or was she just clinging to safety? I don't know, she admitted honestly. I'm not sure I'm even capable of loving after everything, but I want to try. Want to give us a chance. Marcus shook his head. That's not enough, Kira. I need love, not attempts. I need a woman who's sure of her feelings, and you're not sure. But I'm working on it. I see, and I'm proud of you. But I can't wait until you figure it out. I have a daughter who's already attached to you. I can't subject her to new separations. Marcus hugged Kira. You're a wonderful woman, but we're not meant to be. I'm sorry. He let her go. Kira left, feeling the last hope for happiness collapsing. She lost Marcus, not because of betrayal, not because of deception, because of her inability to open up. Owen and Rachel took from her not money. They took her ability to love, and that was more terrible than any financial losses. 2 years passed since the trial. Kira lived alone in the apartment in Tribeca. The practice prospered. She had money, real estate, a successful business, but no love, no family, no warmth. She dated different men, but nothing worked out. The fear of betrayal sat too deep. Jennifer sometimes visited, tried to cheer her up, but saw that Kira was unhappy. Kira, you won the trial but lost life, she said once. You let Owen and Rachel destroy your future. I know, Kira answered quietly, but I can't do anything about it. You can. Continue therapy. Work on yourself. Don't give up. Kira tried, went to the therapist, read books, attended workshops, but the cold inside wouldn't go away. In December, exactly 2 years after the trial, Kira received a letter from Owen from prison. She looked at the envelope for a long time, not daring to open it. Finally opened it. Kira, I don't know if you'll read this letter. You'll probably throw it away immediately, but I need to write. I'm sitting here in prison and thinking about what I did, how I destroyed your life and mine. Greed blinded me. I listened to my mother, not my heart. I loved you, truly loved you, at the beginning of our marriage, but then lost that feeling in the pursuit of money. Became a different person, a stranger. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I know I don't deserve it. I just want to say, don't let me destroy your life. Don't let my betrayal poison your future. You deserve happiness, real happiness. Owen. Kira read the letter and felt a strange relief. Owen admitted his guilt, asked her not to destroy her life because of him. Maybe this was a sign. Maybe it was time to let go. In the evening, Kira sat by the window looking at snowy New York. The city sparkled with lights. Somewhere out there, people loved, rejoiced, built families, and she sat alone in an empty apartment with money that didn't bring happiness, with a victory that left bitterness. Her mom wanted to give her freedom, but freedom turned out to be a cage of loneliness. Kira approached her mom's photograph. Mom, I didn't cope. I protected the money, but lost myself. Forgive me. The phone rang. Unknown number. Kira answered. Kira Williams. A woman's voice. My name is Dr. Sarah Chin. I'm a psychologist. I specialize in betrayal trauma. Your friend Jennifer gave me your number. Said you need help. I'm already seeing a therapist. I know, but I use a different method, deeper. Working with the subconscious, with childhood traumas that amplify the pain of betrayal. Wanna try? Kira thought. She had tried many things. Maybe one more chance. All right, let's try. Working with Dr. Chin turned out to be harder than everything before. Dr. Chin dug deep, pulled old wounds to the surface, childhood fears. Kira cried at sessions, screamed, poured out pain. Gradually began to understand. Her distrust didn't come only from Owen. It grew from childhood, from the relationship with her father, who left when she was 5 years old. Owen just amplified what was already inside. The healing process took another year. Slow, painful, but necessary. Kira learned to forgive, not Owen, not Rachel, herself for not seeing the betrayal earlier.